Wow. The goodness of God. Hi, ladies. It's great to be here with you today. And God never makes a mistake, because I came today to talk to you about the goodness of God and the faithfulness of God. In the midst of everything and anything that is happening, I want us right now to focus our mind on goodness and greatness. Because the goodness of God and the faithfulness of God, our Creator, is the same God that created you with greatness, that created me with greatness. So my talk today is entitled, In the Beginning. In the beginning, before you were ever physically born, God created you from a spiritual place, in His image, with His character, with His great love and His nature and His great characteristics. But what I want to talk to you today about is about being aware and prepared for how the enemy works, but how God will rescue you every single time. I want you to be aware of your greatness in the midst of the times when, not if, when you don't feel good enough, when temptation comes your way, when the enemy tries to steal your destiny, when you don't feel skinny enough or pretty enough, or if you were a blonde and the boyfriend fell in love with a brunette. Your greatness, don't lose yourself. Don't forget who you are. When he posted about you on Instagram and now it's somebody else next week, I'm just going to talk real today. That's all I know how to do. Amen. So we're going to focus on the greatness and not losing yourself, because I promise you the enemy is out for your destiny. And he does it by breaking your heart. He does it by showing up through life trials and life circumstances that sometimes seem like they are unbearable and you won't be able to take them. He shows up in society that will pressure you to try to be confused. But let me encourage you today that it's all right to have questions, and everyone feels confused at times, but ask your questions. Questions are beautiful. Don't stay in your confusion. And I'm also going to encourage you today too, don't stay in your brokenness. Everybody goes through struggles. And the greatest weapon of the enemy is that he wants you to stay stuck in those, not telling anybody, because you think you're going to be less than. Or he'll lie to you and tell you, it's better here in the darkness. And then people try to come into your life and trying to help you overcome and try to help you get over that thing. But the enemy says, no, stay over here with me. Be quiet. Don't say anything. Refuse the help that's coming along. You are made with greatness. And God has a destiny and a plan, even during the times when it's not always great. So I want to read this scripture to you, because we are talking about in the beginning. So the book of Genesis, even though the Bible is not in chronological order, it starts with the book of Genesis. And the word Genesis simply means in the beginning, which refers to the start, how you started out, where you came from, and the very God that created each and every person in love with greatness and a purpose. Genesis chapter 1, verse 26 through 28 reads like this from the Message translation. And for those of you who don't know what translation means, that's okay. It's not that important. That's not a big question for today. God spoke, "Let us make human beings in our image, making them reflecting our nature, so they can be responsible for the fish in the sea." So before I even go on, we already said, God said, I'm going to create them with power. I'm going to create them with responsibility, which is purpose. We are going to create them with great ability to love and to rule and reign over this earth and own their destiny and own the purpose that I have placed in them. They are to be on top and empowered, but fully knowing how I created them and why I created them. So they can be responsible for the fish in the sea, the birds in the air, the cattle, and yes, earth itself, and every animal that moves on the face of the earth. God created human beings. He created them God-like. We are not God, but He created us to be God-like, which is great news, reflecting His nature. He created them male and female. God blessed them. I love that word. That means God puts His hand over His creation, because He says His creation is good. The word blessing means for God to have his hand over you and his love pouring into you for you to be able to operate the way he created you. So what does he bless us to do? He wants us to reproduce. Meaning, eventually, when you have a husband and after marriage, if you have children, if and when you have children, it's to continue on to produce that greatness, to produce the nature of God with strong destiny, that love would rule and reign in this world, not evil and darkness that we see. But God also knew that human beings would fall short, but he has a remedy for that. He doesn't leave us lost. If we're lost, it's because we choose to stay there, or we just haven't heard that there is a way out. So he says, I bless you to prosper. That means favor. He has success waiting for you. In the book of Deuteronomy, it says that God goes before you ever face a problem or ever face a crisis or anything. He goes before us to make solution, to create a way of escape. He already knows what you're going to face before you face it. It is not his doing, but the doing of the enemy. But God says, don't you worry. I have you. I have a plan of rescue. I have a plan of healing. I have a plan of restoration. I have a plan for my beautiful daughters, which is each and every one of you in here today. You're powerful. You're filled with purpose. Make up your mind today that you are not going to let anyone or any kind of darkness take that away from you. Blessed to prosper, to reproduce, to fill the earth, to take charge in a humble way, but to take charge. That nothing would rule and reign over you that's going to hurt you or tempt you or pull you in the wrong direction. Because every single one of you, including myself, I will face more because I'm a little older than you. I'm sure that's probably a shocking fact. But you will face hardships. You already know that. You've already faced them. But what do we do when we face them? To prosper, to rule, to reign, to be responsible, to be blessed. Psalm 139 says that we are fearfully and wonderfully made, that God made us with great respect, reverence, and awe. Why am I sharing this with you today? Because I came to a place in my life at a very young age, even younger than some of you here. Some things happened to me when I was younger, and it distorted my view of goodness and greatness. I was sexually abused when I was younger, so there was a distortion of there was the goodness of God that I was hearing about from my family because it didn't happen in my household. There was the goodness of God happening here, but there was this horrible evil happening out in the world. Have you ever thought you knew the goodness of God, or you were searching for goodness somewhere, and then maybe tragedy hit you, or something hard hit you and just like knocked you in the gut and just knocked you off a life square? Have you ever faced anything like that? Or a hardship, or a sorrow, or a grief, to where you're just not sure how you're going to get through that. That's what happened to me. My parents were teaching me about the love of God. I came from a great household. But different things started to happen in the world. Because the world offers you opportunities to walk away from God and not accept his love and his destiny for your life. And I took those opportunities. Instead of listening to my parents or listening to the hope and the help that could have been provided for me. Because remember when I opened up, I kept those things secret. I didn't tell anybody. So therefore, I didn't know that it could have been different. I didn't know that there was help. I didn't know that there was hope. I speak with a lot of young people, and today in your society, the suicide rate's higher than it's ever been. Drug addiction higher than it's ever been. What does that mean? Drug addiction, alcoholism, suicide is not the actual problem. There's a root of brokenness on the inside of the person, and that's why they drink. That's why I drank. That's why I did drugs. That's why suicide comes talking in your ear and tells you that you're not enough. And I bind that right now in the name of Jesus, and I say, no way. No. You are worth every bit of the life that's breathing inside of you right now. These things require hope and help. I was trying to search for hope, help, acceptance, love, fulfillment. Started with the boys young. I liked the attention. I thought that was going to be the answer until I got my heart broken. several times, again and again and again, and temptation would come, and I would devalue myself, and I would end up doing things with these boys that I wasn't supposed to be doing, over and over and over again, and it left me empty, feeling used and dirty, time and time again. A lot of heartbreak, because it's not God's design, it's not his plan. He wants you to wait for marriage for a reason, because he wants you to feel special and to feel loved. Ladies, you should be cherished. You should be cherished, honored, respected. Know your value. Be confident in who God created you to be. Learn that. It takes time to learn that over time. But what I want you to hear me say is don't get lost in the practices that I did or think you're going to find truth in the midst of a lie or in the midst of temptation. Because young men also don't know the truth that lies ahead, and they are simply just trying to find themselves as well, dealing with the same hardship and the same heartache. And what happens is when we're walking along and we're going through life and we face those hardships, and then the two of you come together and find yourself in a place you shouldn't be, things can happen. And if it's happened, and if you've been that place, and maybe if you've done things like me, God's ready to forgive you. He's ready to give you a fresh start, a new beginning. But see, I didn't stop there. I wouldn't listen. Trying to rescue, trying to save. Wanted to be in the in crowd. Started smoking when I was 12. Today, vaping, all these other things. We don't need to get into it. You all know what you're dealing with in your society. I'm a little older than you. But the enemy's not up to anything different. Smoking cigarettes. You know, if you smoke cigarettes and you're vaping, you're looking for an escape. You're looking for release. You're looking for acceptance. You're looking to be cool. Why anybody's trying to be cool is because you're looking for acceptance. That's all that means. God created us to desire acceptance. God created us to want to be loved. We want to fit in. But let me give you the honest truth. God created you to be set apart from the things of this world and the things that the world does so that you would walk in his plan with the purpose of trying to protect you, to empower you, ladies. There's gifts and talents in this room right now. I am looking at a tremendous group of young ladies that are filled with potential and possibility, and some of you are chasing that with everything that is in you. Possibilities. There's books that will be written in here that haven't been written yet. There's lawyers in here that have appeared. There's women in here that are going to choose to stay home and raise kids, raise the next generation. You're full of greatness. You're full of greatness. Don't give up your destiny. I gave up my destiny. Wanted to be accepted. Wouldn't listen. Kept going on with the wrong crowd. Then I started drinking at a young age. And then alcohol wasn't enough. Because the enemy will lie and say, well, if you just get into this behavior, get into that behavior, you'll find some kind of release or find some kind of relief. It's always a lie that promises you solution. That's what it is. And it's your brokenness that's screaming out. It's an inward thing on the inside that when I was taking a drink and then I started doing drugs and then I was still sleeping around, I'm just going to say it like it is. I got myself caught in a cycle very young and I paid the price. I don't want you beautiful ladies to pay that price. And if you're stuck in that cycle right now, what was some of the first things I said? Bring it to the light. Tell somebody. It's hope and help. Remember, I shared with you, I didn't know the help and the hope that was given to me. And sometimes when help and hope is delivered to you and people tell you, here's the lifeline, and if you've rejected it 10 times, go back. It's okay. Go back. If you're having thoughts of harming yourself, that's the enemy trying to steal your destiny. Don't let him do it. Get the hope, get the help, come to the light, come to the solution, because God will pull you through. I went on in this lifestyle for over 30 years. That's not really true, about 20 years. I was divorced twice. I had 3 children, and I wouldn't stop. I wouldn't bring it to the light. I wouldn't ask for hope. I wouldn't ask for help. I wouldn't turn to God. I kept turning to the world and turning to the wrong things. And I lost custody of my 3 beautiful sons because my addiction was so deep and my alcoholism was so bad. How did I get there? I came from a great, great home. I was raised in the love of God. But things happen. Remember, I told you I want you to be prepared and I want you to be aware. And some of you, I pray that you never see the destiny I have, but this is how it starts at your age, right here. Because the enemy wants you when he thinks you're weak. He wants you when you're young, when you're trying to find your way and you're trying to learn and find your way in this world. But I'm going to tell you something. I paid the price, and it was a lot of pain, but that wasn't the end of my story. It wasn't where God left me. He was calling me all the time. From the age of 12, he was calling me into hope. He was calling me and putting people in my life to give me the help I needed. I didn't say yes. I said no. I refused. And when you refuse, the help and the hope, ladies, are to get back on track. It hurts yourself. It steals your destiny. Your heart keeps breaking. And it also hurts everyone around you. It hurt my kids because I wouldn't get help. So not only do you pay the price, everyone around you who loves you pays a heavy, high, hard price. And it doesn't have to be that way. It doesn't have to be that way. And some of you, I hope you can't relate to any part of my story. But I'm sure you know somebody in this world or one of your friends. I'm sure you see it. The enemy's not up to anything new. Encourage them. Encourage their greatness. Know who you are. Know that you are valuable. But in order to know that you are valuable, you're going to have to put up boundaries and make choices and take a stand. Get busy in your studies. Find the gift that's inside of you, because God says, his word says, see, this word right here, this Bible right here is full of solution. When the enemy comes, it tells you how to get out. When your heart is broken, it tells you how to heal. And you have some great teachers in this place who will help you and answer your questions, even if you don't believe. I didn't believe God for a whole lot of years. I ran away from this Bible. That was the last thing I wanted to see. But you know what? I accepted the love, and I accepted the help, and I was willing to listen. Your destiny, your greatness. You're in school right now. I mean, give yourself a hand just for showing up to class today. Stay in class. Why? Because you're nurturing your greatness. You're developing your skills. If you're confused about what you want to be, seniors, juniors, if you're getting ready to leave and they're talking about college and you don't know what you want to be or who you want to be, that's all right. That's normal. Don't let fear knock you right out of those conversations. Most college graduates will graduate still not knowing who they are or what they want to be. It's okay. But as long as you stay on the right path, you're going to find your way right into right. Finding your way into wrong will never produce right. Some of you have thoughts and dreams. Dare to dream. Dare to dream. Write them down. Become the woman that you want to be. Ladies, I ask you, you have to choose the woman that you want to be. It's your power. It's your choice to choose the woman that you want to be. Choose that you are going to be faithful to yourself. Choose that you are going to value yourself. Nobody gets that choice unless you give it away. Choose your standard. What is your standard of how you're going to be treated and how you're not going to be treated? From a right perspective, not a prideful perspective, but the right way. What does God say about what it's supposed to look like? And dating, don't let attraction become distraction. Oof, I said a whole lot right there. A whole lot right there. Your goodness. There's a line in one of those songs in there that, I'm telling you, you ladies are gifted. That was powerful. Where it says, his goodness is coming after us. He's running after me. With my life laid down, I surrender now. I give you everything. There's a key word right there, everything. I give you my thoughts. I give you my purity or lack thereof. I give you my confusion, and I embrace your wisdom. I give you those areas where I need help, and I'm going to commit to myself that I'm going to tell someone and get the help that I need, because you don't have to go down the road that I went down. That's why I'm here today. I'm not here to get into the theology. I have a doctorate degree. I'm not here to do that. I want you to get in touch with yourself. I want you to get honest with yourself. I want you to get real. That's why I'm here today. I want you to think about your destiny, which is good. He's a good God, but the devil is a real bad devil. He will produce loss in your life, situations that will break your heart, and use that heartbreak as his entryway into stealing your destiny. And instead of searching for healing and hope and help, I don't want you to search for anything else, like I did, taking the wrong way, in the wrong direction. Because I'll tell you what, as soon as I said yes, and I stayed on the path, and I'm teaching you to do the things that I would really love for you to start doing today, which I know many of you have already started to do. Stay on that path. Because once I said yes to hope and help, the secret was out. Praise God. The secret was out. And I have to be honest too, because I really was not very excited about the help that was presented to me. I didn't like it. Why? Because overcoming a hardship and accepting help goes against everything within you. It will go against and challenge you. It's just the enemy trying to keep you from getting it. Why? What are we talking about? Because he wants to steal your destiny, your gifts, your talents. He wants you to break your heart. He wants to break your heart. These things are going to happen in life. You're going to experience tragedy. You're going to experience hardships. But you know what? You're also going to experience greatness. And even in the midst of hardship and tragedies and situations that aren't fair, that you've been dealt with, because fairness will never be fair in this world. It's just not going to be. It's not going to be fair. Even in the situations that aren't fair, God's goodness is right there. His plan is right there. His destiny for you is right there. It never leaves. It never goes away. His hope, his help, his power, the power within you. Regardless of what anybody says to you or tells you that you're not good enough, or maybe they've told you horrible things, because we see that going on in the world today. There's so much hate that we see, but there's also so much love. Be the love. Be the light. Choose the woman you want to be. Make that choice. Define that choice. Know what that means to you. Make sure you're making the right choice, and that it lines up with the right principles. Make sure you talk to somebody if you need to. Never, ever forget your worth and your value. And if you struggle with any of the things that I've talked about today, or anything that I didn't mention today, what's your direction? Get the help. Get the hope. God will heal you from that thing. He'll never hold it against you. He stands there with open arms, just waiting for you to come to him. Again, you have amazing teachers. You have amazing staff. Tell your friends. And friends, if you don't know what to do with the situation, and somebody's told you a situation and you don't know what to do with it, that's what the teachers are for. God puts adults in your life somewhere to help you. You're never alone. You're never alone. So I'm going to close with just another simple reminder before your amazing teacher comes back up here. You're filled with what? You're filled with greatness. You're filled with purpose. You're not a mistake. If there's frustration and confusion, you're going to tell someone. If you have questions and you don't think that you can talk to somebody about it, that's a lie. Questions are amazing. There's a reason why you think what you think and the thoughts that you have in your mind. So go to somebody who loves you and cares about you that can help you through those things. Ladies, who do you want to be? What standard do you want to put up for yourself? What boundaries do you want to make that you don't want to cross? Remember, you're full of destiny. You're full of purpose. You're full of goodness, and you're full of greatness. because you were created by an awesome, wonderful, almighty, and powerful God. Thank you for letting me talk to you today and sharing this time. Bless you guys.